soul. Remember redemption till where your blood was spilled for my ransom. Everything I once held dear, I count it all as lost. Lead me to the cross where your love poured out. Bring me to my knees, Lord, I lay me down. Rid me of myself, I belong to you. Oh, lead me to the cross. You were as I tempted and tried, human. The Word became flesh for my sin and death. Now you're risen. Everything I once held dear, I count it all as lost. Lead me to the cross where your love poured out. Rid me to my knees, Lord, I lay me down. Rid me of myself, I belong to you. Oh, lead me to your heart. 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 Lead me to the cross where your love poured out. Bring me to my knees, Lord, I lay me down. Rid me of myself, I belong to you. Oh, lead me to cross where your love poured out. Bring me to my knees, Lord, I lay me down. Rid me of myself, I belong to you. Oh, lead me to the cross.
When I write a sermon, it usually goes something like this. I have an idea, I find a verse, I begin to write, then I change everything. Sometimes my topic changes, sometimes it's just my thoughts, or perhaps it's the order. This time, however, I struggled a little more than normal. I wanted to write something engaging, something that would also include how grateful I am for Stephanie, for the great coworker that she has been. Then on top of it, this was a very busy week, and Pastor Russell is here in the sanctuary watching me preach for the first time. So, 3 topics later, and here we are. And I bring this up because it was through the struggle that I realized that God was with me. I was rushing my way through the week, and when I finally took a moment to stop and listen, I was able to gain clarity. He reminded me that the Holy Spirit was with me as I sat at the Texas Wesley and listened to the songs and the sermon about burning bush moments in our lives. I was reminded that I am not alone. I sat listening to the song Defender by Francesca Battistelli, And suddenly, I knew that today I would be speaking about our great defender. And I knew that the struggle I was having was going to be okay and that things would work out. I knew that the Holy Spirit was with me. As we look at Psalm 94, we see the writer asking, or perhaps begging, for justice to be handed out to those he refers to as fools. Then he begins to come to a place where he asks who will protect him from the wicked, and we see the psalm begin to turn around. We see where he starts to acknowledge that what the Lord has done for him. He acknowledges that without the help of the Lord, he would have soon settled in the grave. And as the author comes to this conclusion, he becomes more jubilant in his reverie. Your unfailing love, O Lord, supported me. Your comfort gave me renewed hope and cheer. And then it comes towards the end, and he refers to the Lord as his fortress, the mighty rock where he hides. So let's look at this line. The Lord is my fortress. When I think of a fortress, I think of a large shelter that defends against the elements, but also from attacks. If you look up the definition, it's defined as a military stronghold, especially a strongly fortified town or large garrison. And then, as Stephanie talked about too, he refers to God as the rock where he's able to hide or seek solitude or sanctuary. Think about how big a rock would have to be to hide a grown person. So this rock would also protect against attacks, wind, and other elements. Both of these describe the Lord as a form of defense. What do we need to be defended against? Well, in my case, I needed that defense to help me get past my doubts. For you, it could be something else that you needed to defend against. I'll talk more about this later, but this weekend, there were 3 little bunnies that needed defended against predators and starvation. So Thursday night, as I sat amongst friends and UT college students, I listened to the lyrics of the song that they were singing. You know before I do where my heart can seek to find your truth. Your mercy is the shade I'm living in, and you restore my faith and hope again. As I listened to the lyrics, my faith and hope were restored, and I felt comfort in that shade. I began to think about how God has been my great defender. And it was funny because I was so focused on writing about Stephanie, but I realized my focus was on the wrong aspect. I began to realize that Stephanie, although she is a good friend and a wonderful coworker, I also began to see her in a different light, a way that perhaps God saw her when he put her in my path. How I was being defended against my uncertainties and my fears. When I started coming to this church, she helped guide me through the unknown to find my way back, and she supported me. She was the first person to ask me to help as a children's teacher. And then Stephanie helped create an environment where Quinn felt comfortable from day one. As my faith grew and my path changed, I can now see that I had a warrior clearing that path, putting people in it who would help me face obstacles and challenges. And the good news is that God isn't just my great defender. He is our fortress. He is our rock. As the song came around again to the next refrain, I picked up on a different point. All I did was praise. All I did was worship. All I did was bow down. And all I did was stay still. As I listened to these lyrics, I realized the truth of them. We are provided shelter in our storms, a confidant, a warrior that is on our side, and so much more. We have the most amazing defender, one who created us, sent the Son to save us, who helps to show us the way. And in exchange for these sacrifices made by the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, all we do is pray, worship, bow down, and stay still. Their love shines through for all of us, not just us, but also the animals around us. And we're back to the bunnies. So while I was camping with Scouts this weekend, I was blessed to see how these 3 baby bunnies were saved by the Great Defender. We arrived Friday at Scouts, set up the camp. A dog came over to visit, and Saturday, the kids got a up-close and personal lesson on the circle of life. As their mom made her nest where the camp dog roams and close to the home of a rat snake. After the experience, the Scouts scooped up 3 orphan bunnies and asked for help in saving them. Growing up, I have bottle-fed bunnies, possums, raccoons, so I was like, okay, we can do this. I started off by making phone calls to local wildlife centers because while I know that we can do this, I also know this is a lot of work. We asked for help in saving them, but we were told that they would need someplace to stay until Monday. On Monday, I should hopefully be able to get them to someone who's a little more able to care for bunnies that are less than 8 weeks old, or less than a week old. But, long story short, I now have 3 bunnies living with me until Monday. But because we were there and we had the ability to help, their Great Defender sought to place us in their path, and now 3 tiny orphan bunnies have a chance. God's love for us is as strong as it was for those 3 tiny bunnies. So remember to praise, to worship, to bow down, and stay still. Because in the end, that is what we are asked to do. And in return, we get to have an unfailing defender on our side.